Hey everybody, welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I got with me Elijah and Jason. Hey guys, yeah, it's been a few weeks. A few things came
Yeah.
along, got busy, and Jason, it's cool to see you back again. How's things going, guys? What's been going on in the new world? What you been watching?
Watching.
I don't know. Have you been watching anything?
A lot of
Any?
stuff has come up. I guess I've
Yeah.
kind of watched a bunch of different things. I've
Mm-hmm.
watched the Netflix, the game show, uh, Squid
Squid
Game,
Game.
Squid Game, which was fun to
Oh, is
watch.
that? Oh, is that
It's
playing now?
it's not like season two. It's just like a actual like game show version of Squid Show
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
okay.
actually
of Squid Game.
doing the actual game with
Yeah,
people.
so it's like
Oh,
it's
okay.
actual contestants and like real
Oh,
money.
right,
And
right. But yeah, I didn't realize that was playing already. Oh, wow.
it's playing. They did release like four, and then they released another four, and I think
Oh, okay.
one's coming out like at the end of this week or next week or something, like
Oh,
the final episode or whatever.
Oh, really? Okay, a
But
friend of mine. Okay, that's weird. I didn't realize it was already out because a friend of mine's actually in that.
I wonder how
My,
far
my,
they
my, my
after it
friend
comes out.
Levi is actually in that. It's
Oh,
kind of crazy. Yeah,
Whoa.
he's one of the guards.
Oh,
oh, one of the guards.
Surprisingly enough, apparently he's one of the
cool.
guards yet again
Is
because
it
he was in.
typecasted already?
He's typecasted as a guard. He was a guard in Ahsoka. For those who do not know, a friend of mine, he played one of the night troopers.
Like if
So
you start as a stormtrooper, you're like, okay, you're just in a costume
yeah,
for the rest
yeah,
of your
uh
acting
huh,
career.
right.
That's a
You're
pretty,
I
always
guess so.
that is like the costume role to play, right?
yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if
Oh,
they
for
could do a
sure.
stormtrooper, then they could totally do this.
Oh,
They
you,
could,
you can do
yeah,
this. Oh,
It's
you
a
yeah,
can
good
do
yeah,
anything.
prerequisite
You're gonna
for
be
any
yeah,
type
you,
of goon.
yeah. I just didn't realize it was already airing, so it's like I know he only just got in recently on it, so maybe he's in those last few episodes. I'll have to check and find out which ones. But that's cool. Yeah.
that
Sorry.
and
Yep.
what else? I can't think of. What else?
Um,
There was a
we
few other things that just losing
Yeah,
track.
yeah. Well, we had the Heroes,
Oh yes, that was
Indiana
great.
Jones and Harrison Ford Heroes, which I know you watched. Did you get to watch that, Jason?
No, I haven't gotten a chance
Oh,
yet.
really?
It's like
Thoughts,
when
Elijah?
they both got put on Disney Plus. I'm like, oh wait a minute.
Yeah,
I was gonna watch Dial of Destiny. I'm like, oh wait a minute, I want to watch this.
yeah.
I was really happy I watched it because it
It's
was
so
really
good.
good
Oh
and lots
yeah.
of
Yeah.
behind the scenes jokey stuff that like I've never
Oh,
seen before.
oh, so much footage
Yeah, I
from
want
the
to check
original
that
three
out.
trilogy, from the
Yeah,
original trilogy that I've never
that
seen.
wasn't in other.
Yeah,
For some reason,
documentaries.
not in other documentaries. There's
Mm.
some really funny stuff of like Harrison like
Oh,
joking
Nice.
around and stuff in there that like,
those
Opened up the
hasn't been
vault,
used.
huh?
yeah.
Yeah. They're
Well, I
like,
mean, it's
oh,
kind
we
of
used this before. We used this before. Like, no
like
one gets into the same footage, I guess, but it was
you.
done well.
Yeah, well, I mean, there must be tons of footage they just haven't used for such a rainy day. But the thing is that, like, to see Steven Spielberg and George Lucas on, I think, the set of Raiders of the Lost Ark having a water pistol fight with each other, it's like, whoa, that's George Lucas. He
Right.
doesn't get that kind of energetic, but he's like, he's full of energy.
Lucas was like pew
Uh,
pew
Yeah,
pew when he
and
shot his water gun.
the stuff with Sean Connery was priceless on Last Crusade. Some of the behind the
Yeah, that was
scenes
good too.
footage. There's some really great stuff. It's probably one of the best documentaries I've seen in a long time. I thought. I
nice,
thought
man.
I liked it. It
Yeah, I
was
got
really
to check it
about
out.
yeah. I mean, it was really about Indiana Jones and Harrison Ford. Being the focal point of it. But I thought it was a very well placed out documentary. It's definitely worth checking out. And I haven't sat and
Oh,
watched Dial of Destiny yet, but
oh yeah.
Blue,
Um,
yeah.
we yeah, I would have watched that, but we were busy finishing up Jury Duty, that
Oh,
show.
okay.
Oh,
All right.
you finally
And
watched that? What did
yeah,
you think of that? I
oh, it's
really liked
great.
it.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Good
Okay.
stuff, man. There's a lot of like laughing a lot.
It's
at
it,
the
Yeah.
it, I like in the last two episodes where we're like, okay, now we're gonna reveal everything, the behind the scenes
Yeah,
stuff. It's like
Right.
it's funny to see them like
good
how
payoff.
long can this guy go without saying like what is happening?
Uh
Like
huh.
Yeah,
all
they
these crazy people, and he was the guy. They picked the right person because he's just like, I'll go along with it, whatever, and
Right.
they
not
picked
like
like a good guy,
yeah, just a
who
good guy.
would just
It's like
always do the right thing.
right,
So like they bring up all the stuff, and like it's fun
uh,
listening to like the cast on like their moments when they almost blew it, because they had
yeah,
to maintain that for that long stretch of time.
on
That
and
must
off,
have been
on
that must have
set,
been
off
tough.
set. Like they show them at the
Mhm.
hotel, and they still have to
He
keep
sucked.
going, like continually with their characters.
Yeah. Oh, the
Godzilla
Monarch.
show.
Yeah, it's the Monarch, whatever. The
No.
Monarch Academy.
on Apple.
What's it called?
Oh, really? I haven't
forgot what
watched
it's
it.
called. But
Last night.
it's canon to the whole like Godzilla, King
Okay.
Kong, Skull
Oh,
Island. It's
all
canon
right.
to all of that, like the
Okay.
American Godzilla stuff.
I haven't watched that, but last night I did go see Godzilla minus zero, minus what,
I
whatever.
didn't know you were into
Uh,
kaiju's.
I'm usually not. I went with a group of friends last night, but this was probably the best Godzilla rendition I've seen for the ones I've seen. The American ones, I can understand why everybody says the American versions are crap, and this was actually, shot. This is all, subtitles and all that sort of stuff. But the visual effects, it was interesting because it was, it took place in the just after World
In the
War II kind of
40s,
time
right?
period, the 40s, yeah. But they actually made it move, and although it was all CG as a Godzilla creature, they made it move like a man in a puppet suit for the most part. So the arms would sway, and the head would be like looking like this, and you'd get these slow motion feed. But it was really well done. For the most part, it was a really solid film from beginning to end. Which yeah, was surprised. Hey, Clone Humor, how's it going? And Freaka Games. Okay, hey, how's it
Oi.
going?
Oh, Malloy.
Malloy?
Oi.
Oh, there's Malloy. Oh, and then
Yeah.
Malloy. Oops. Oh, wrong account. Oh, okay. All right. How's it going, guys?
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
it's really good too.
It's a really solid film. I mean, it had some emotion in it. It had drama. It had some really nice visual effects, some great miniature models, and it worked as a story. All except
Miniature
for
models
one.
that were made to look like miniature models.
Yeah, there was one little piece at the end that was a little Hollywoodized, and that's all I'll say about it. Which was like most of the people I went with were like, "Oh, okay, I wish they didn't do that." But for the all round, it was just a really cool, visually kind of dramatically powerful little story about a giant kaiju creature. But it was funny to see how they managed to keep the old school vibe to this CGI'd Godzilla, and it was all great. It was cool.
Gotta respect the source
Enjoyed it.
material, you know.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. No, well, that's what they did
We've
do. Yeah.
we've had a lot of generations of Godzilla where we've drifted really far from, especially like the '98 Godzilla with Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick.
Like,
Oh
did
God, that was
totally,
the worst. That was so bad.
Yeah.
So
But
bad.
like, yeah, that movie didn't know what it wanted to be. It wanted to be like Jurassic Park, or
Yeah.
it wanted to be Godzilla, but at the
Well,
same time not.
It was
Yeah.
Roland
I mean, that's
Emmerich.
when we
and-
had like,
yeah.
we had
Yeah.
Armageddon and
Yeah.
The Impact, and like it was like a disaster movie with a lizard.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like every year we had like a
So,
who's that
yeah,
director?
Right.
Roland Emmerich.
Roland
Roland
Emmerich.
Emmerich. Yeah. Yes, it is on Disney Plus, and yes, it's actually really good. Yeah, definitely. And Dial of Destiny, if you haven't seen it, check it out as well. I mean, it's I saw it in the theaters a few times. Yeah, Roland Emmerich. He did the only couple of good films he did was Independence Day and Stargate, in my opinion. Everything else he did after that was
Stargate
just.
slaps.
I love Stargate. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
The Egyptianology of it all. What else did I catch? Oh, I've been watching the Justice League for the first time in maybe about 10 or 15 years.
Oh
And
yeah,
I just finished Justice League, and I'm about to start Justice League Unlimited. And it's worth rewatching. They're still to this day really solid stories around these superheroes. Very much enjoyed rewatching it and kind of getting into those characters again.
Is there a standout episode of the first two seasons that you out of the first two seasons that you liked?
The last two episodes, or the last two-part episodes they did of season 2, before they went on to Starcross, the crossover, were really good. Because one was a Superman story, which was Superman, where it had him go forward in time, get transported well into the future, and the only surviving creature was Randall Savage, which I thought was cool. I think we talked about this before.
Yeah,
I love that episode. But then the one,
it's a two-part where he like disappears. Toyman makes him disappear, and then the
the death of Superman. They
figure
played
out-
on that.
Batman's like, "Oh, he's not dead. I'm not coming to the funeral.
Yes, yeah.
He's not dead. I'm figured it out."
Yeah. And then the second one, the one immediately after that, was actually a Batman story, and it dealt with Batman. It had all the rogues from, all the villains from Batman. He was on a timer, and he had to kind of go through and I completely forgot about the episode.
Are you
but it had
watching those on
Harley
on
Quinn.
Mac? On Mac?
Yes, yeah.
I think it's
Sorry,
out of order.
I've been watching on what's it called?
Max?
No, yeah, no, Netflix has been playing them. So,
Netflix.
yeah.
Huh, it's on HBO Max too. Anyways, I think
Yeah.
I know the one on Max it's out of order.
Oh,
like
really?
The
Oh, for real?
episodes are out of order than
Interesting.
what it was or is on the DVDs.
Really?
that I had.
Okay,
So.
all right.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah, I don't know why
Yeah.
they do it.
Definitely go see Godzilla -1. It's actually done very well in the box office too. Apparently, it's the best a foreign film has done in the box office in the opening weekend, from what I read too.
And Kurt Russell's in the TV show version of the Godzilla TV show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Kurt Russell, yeah, Kurt Russell
Really?
and his son are in the
I had no idea that was playing.
the TV series.
Oh,
I know, right? Well,
That's
wait,
what I was getting
what's-
confused by the two because they come out. Why
Right.
do they got to release two Godzilla movies at the same time all the time? It's like,
Yeah.
don't get them confused.
Yeah, is it on what is it, on Apple?
Apple, yeah,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is hard to get. Like Apple's the one that I don't.
I know. I have it, but like it's hard to share that because it means you have to
It's like
log
you have to
into
log
my
into
Apple
your Apple
account and
account,
stuff.
yeah,
so
like-
that one's like not shareable.
not-
Really.
Yeah. I agree. I
Mm.
think they did a very good job with each of the Justice League members in the first two seasons, and I was disappointed when they finished Justice League. But then when they said they were doing Justice League Unlimited, I was unsure what to expect, and then it took me a little while to get into Justice League Unlimited, but I'm glad they
I mean,
kept
it's
all
nice
the
because you
same.
got way more characters in it. They
Oh,
just
yeah.
throw in everybody
Yeah.
they can.
No,
and,
totally.
you know,
Unlimited.
Yeah, it's unlimited. You have kind
Yeah.
of have less of the
Yeah.
two-part stories, but like you get a lot of like great stories with just characters you wouldn't
Yeah.
normally get. You know.
Yeah, I haven't read what the budget was, but it wasn't a high budget film. I think the director also was in charge of a lot of the visual effects on the film too. He had some of his own production team and all that, so they kept the budget down.
He was pretty hands on with the design. I heard.
Yes, yeah.
Like he sculpted the Godzilla on ZBrush.
Yeah,
How you wanted it. Huh?
Oh, really? Well, they designed, as I said, they kept it fairly basic in the form of its movement. But the actual spikes, whenever you see it a little bit in the trailer, but when the spikes go and he charges up his death beam, each spike just pops up as it goes blue all the way up the back, and it's like, that's freaking scary. The sound, by the way, was incredible. Sound effect.
That's some of the biggest spikes I've seen on a Godzilla in a while, man.
Oh, it was
Some
crazy.
spikes, huh?
It was crazy. But then when he fires that blast, they do an incredible job at just creating a massive like nuclear blast that's just intensely insane. It was worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Shin Godzilla?
I have
The one
not,
they
no.
released before this?
No.
Well, the whole like Shin series, they're doing like so they did Shin Godzilla, they did they released Shin Ultraman, and then Shin Kamen Rider. So it's this new take on these huge IPs that Japan has like a lot of history with, but they're like these kind of more mature takes on it, and like a love letter to like the original source material as well. But it's something I've been meaning to check out. But like it shows like. I don't know. I don't know if you'd actually enjoy the Shin Godzilla because it's like really political. It's mostly just people in rooms talking. Like it's like like a realistic take, and like shows the whole like all the politics on how to deal with like a giant monster.
Okay.
But it shows like Godzilla like comes out of the ocean and he kind of slowly evolves into like what we know as him as the form. And yeah, it's just like I don't know. I like this Shin series that they're doing because it's like kind of like a gritty, more modernized take on like these.
Is it a
traditional
TV series or a movie?
No, they're
series?
like movies. I don't know about the Kamen Rider or Ultraman, but like it's just like I mean Shin in like the Japanese term means like the true version. So it's like the canon. I don't know. It's kind of a nice revisit to those IPs. And a new modern take on it, like the Ultraman, like they'll do like scene for scene like fights,
Gotcha.
but like with more modern like computer animation and more like modern VFX.
Right.
I don't know. It's something that I've been meaning to check out, but there's just so much to watch, guys.
There is a lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that just has recently got dropped.
Yeah, no, definitely. We had a lot of trailers. We had a lot of cool things we talked about today.
I'm assuming that's because they start. I don't know, but
Yeah.
assuming they just released things as soon as the writers and the strikes were over.
Oh yeah, no, it seemed like that.
Okay,
yeah,
we're releasing
they released a
like,
lot in the last 2 weeks.
trailers and TV shows and everything that like they were probably holding back on.
Yeah.
Now out. So.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, they've got very little to show for next year as a overall scope between movies and TV shows. Was most of them have been 6 months out of shooting schedules. So they want to make sure that everybody's going into the new year feeling like there's something to watch, I guess. Something that is more toy related that Sideshow have been releasing recently, and they've been dropping too much stuff. But they've been dropping a whole pile of 12-inch figures. One of them being the Ahsoka Tano,
you knew that
Ahsoka
was
Wyatt. Yeah, I know it was coming. But then they also just dropped Rex this past week. They dropped Grand Admiral Thrawn, of course, a few weeks ago.
That Elon Musk looks perfect, man.
The Elon.
I don't know why he's blue though. Why is he blue?
Grand Admiral Musk.
And then but they've released a whole pile of pretty high detail figures for the Ahsoka series, which I'm probably going to somehow survive and try to get because
does
they're just all cool.
Does Marok's helmet come off?
I do not believe so. No, I think it's just this.
Like what's under there?
It's just green gas. Psst.
Take it off. It's just a fart.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But yeah, that's some of the stuff I've been doing recently, or been looking at, or been checking out. There's something else I checked out. What was it? No, it's gone. Whatever it was I was watching. Anyway. Yeah, guys. What else is there? So, Godzilla definitely worth checking out. Some of the. Okay, so let's start off a bit of a somber thing. A few weeks ago, because we haven't been around for a while, Roger Castell, the artist who did the Empire Strikes Back poster, he did the Jaws poster, passed away. And it's just like, again, just other poster art that we all appreciate over the years. And it was just like, oh, man.
The old school guys.
Yeah, the old school poster artists are all kind of, getting to that age. It sucks. But, just thought I wanted to note that out. One thing. Oh, by the way, Max is not with us today because he's actually currently at LA Comic-Con. He sat in on some of the Ahsoka panel yesterday with the actors from Ahsoka. I think he said he's sitting on some Star Wars panels today. But he's been mostly there to collect comics and all that sort of stuff. But one of the things that came out of news from the Comic-Con, from what I can understand, was that Deadpool 3... the actress who played X-23 sounds like she's going to be returning to Deadpool 3.
She's all grown
from
up.
Logan. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so
she's all older.
Yeah, and then Max just sent us an image. Was that a real image with them fighting Sabretooth?
Oh, the one I sent.
Yeah. Oh, is that what you? Yeah.
I don't know.
Is that real or not?
I don't know.
I couldn't tell if it was real. Was the image of Sabretooth's head cut off looked kind of weird and fake almost?
Spoilers, guys.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Right.
Maybe it was just weird. I don't know. I couldn't tell if that was real or not. It's hard to tell what's real these days.
Well, and then I won't be surprised they totally do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me.
It's a Deadpool movie. I mean, if it's fake, that's a good job.
Yeah, fair enough. Either way, it was just like, okay, interesting.
Yeah,
but it's
kind of like what?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if she turns up in Deadpool 3 at least.
Yeah, God, it makes you realize how much time has passed, especially when kid actors show up again and they're like, they don't even look the same anymore.
Look how old she is. I mean,
You're just
definitely.
Like,
yeah.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it was that long ago.
Kids grow up so quick. It's
kind
of ridiculous when
it's
not your child.
Span of your life. Where's that span of your life when you're like that young and that age range for her?
Yeah. But now you got to question, how does she pop up? If she's still the same character or the version of the character from Logan, and that took place in the future after Logan is dead, then how is Logan back with I don't know what they're going to do with this story. It's going to be really kind of messed up. I'm sure it's going to be fun.
Well,
But
there's just like the whole like Deadpool superpower kind of outside of healing factor.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Adult X-23. Yeah,
But
yeah.
but
Good
like
point.
yeah, it's well there's a have you seen like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe and like there's like a
No.
he goes into like he ends up like killing everyone in the Marvel universe and then
Oh,
ends up
really?
killing like the writers. And
Okay.
then there's another one where he ends up like
Okay. Yeah.
killing
Multiverse. I get it. Yes. Sorry.
well then he ends up killing like just like the concept of storytelling
Yeah.
at one point where he
Yeah.
like kills like the writer of Moby Dick and
Mm-hmm.
just goes from there. So if anyone's popping up, I'm not going to be surprised on the premise of what we assume is happening.
No, but it'd be fun to see how they do that and why and what purpose of
Yeah, right.
story. It's yeah, for sure. I'm going to be jumping around with information. We've got a couple of things from all the last couple of weeks, but Avatar: The Last Airbender, they've got a few other actors who are announced that
Cabbage guy reprising his role.
yeah, they got the cabbage guy in there. Yeah, apparently, which is kind of cool. So also Wan Shin Ton, who's like a actually it's interesting because that character was not in until season 2 of the animated series. So it's interesting that that character is in the beginning, and of course Fire Lord Sozai. So which is I think one of the avatars, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or one of the past avatars. There's so many cool things. Others cool things. Wednesday moving production to Ireland for season 2, which is interesting. Because they shot season 1 kind of in the middle of nowhere, really. Oh wait, no. Where was it? Which country was it? I want to say it was Germany or somewhere like that. They picked this weird little country in Europe and they shot there. But if they're,
I'm sure they're just going for gothic, whatever gothic architecture they can find, and like just seeing what works for them.
Yeah, but because moving to Ireland makes it interesting. I'd be curious to see what they do there and what their choices are for doing that.
Yeah, we should be at a different school at this point, or what would be going on with that? You know,
don't know. I'm not.
I don't think I watched the end of the season. I think I maybe stopped before the last.
Oh, really? Oh no,
Yeah,
definitely rewatch.
I
I want to rewatch it again. I actually did thoroughly enjoy that show. But no cabbages from the cabbage guy. Yeah.
Not my cabbages.
You're hoping in the near future that we see a Skeleton Crew Bad Batch final season trailer. Yeah, I'm hoping that we'll see something Star Wars related soon. It's probably going to be Bad Batch coming up first, is my guess. I keep seeing and reading rumors that Skeleton Crew is now getting pushed to the end of 2024. And I think if they are, then it might be story related as to the purpose, because Acolyte has nothing to do with this time period, and that we're in with the Mando universe, and neither does why have I got mental block on the other show? Yeah. Anyway, the other shows are kind of not in this time period, more or less. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm not too sure what they'll be doing. But they definitely won't be starting shooting season 4 of Mandalorian until early next year, from what I understand.
I ran into someone who works on Mandalorian yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Or worked on those shows.
Yeah.
Me and Liz went to like this kind of like a swap meet for production people who like art department people who like make their own stuff. It's like a little flea market. And
I almost went to that. I'm thinking about going, but I didn't go.
I went to one of them a few months ago, about a month ago.
I had friends who had like this photo shoot thing set up, so we brought Enzo there to get like a portrait done.
Oh, cool.
But like Liz ran into one of her old coworkers, who works for like the production side of Mandalorian, and she's still working with them. Yeah. And she was actually the voice of that therapy bot in that Coruscant episode.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's just like they get a lot of crew people. Just like
doing the voice.
They'll do like cool they'll do the voiceovers kind of like as a screen test, and they're like, you know what, she did a good job. Let's just use her voice.
That's really cool.
That's
nice. Cool. That's awesome.
But it's cool. She has had like a lot of ornaments that she made that was like Mandalorian themed and stuff like that. But yeah, it was cool. We bought an ornament from her. And,
nice.
Liz got to catch up and stuff.
Oh, that's
cool. That's cool.
Nice. It seems like the Loki creator, Michael Waldron, is going to be writing the Kang Dynasty. So there's a lot of movement with Kang, and it's interesting. It's like the trial for Jonathan Majors has just started, and so we don't know what the final outcome of that trial is going to be, and that is going to determine whether or not Disney keep him around or not. And so they've been very kind of cautious how they step into that. So we've got this weird scenario of how everything works. I mean, when the Marvels came out a few weeks ago, it did not perform too well, unfortunately. And I enjoyed it, but it just didn't do well in the box office. And so it's just this continuing downhill of how do you treat the MCU at this point in time, and how they do stuff, and do they put a pause on everything that is Kang Dynasty related, or do they move forward and do something that's only half together? I don't know. What are your thoughts, guys, on what we're going with?
If they had a plan, I think it's always just best to stick with that. But then again, it's Disney, so they have to walk on eggshells with this.
Yeah.
With all this type of stuff, and I think like just any type of attention like this on someone is always going to be.
Yeah, technically, yes, it is, but then there's been a lot of, and the thing is, there is so much rumor online that it's really hard to determine, what's going on exactly inside of Marvel, and how they're treating this information. But you're right, they have to tread carefully because they don't want their lead villain to be a real lead villain in real life and be someone who brings
me
negative.
Personally, I just wish I'd rather they just stick with it, stick with the whole Kang stuff, because and I don't know, if you're like, it just sucks because if you have like a planned idea and then you have to like kind of
alter it
around like certain things just to either sell more tickets or to like kind of avoid certain ramifications on someone's behavior. It just we're probably going to be able to, it's probably going to be like a huge hiccup, and we're going to see that, and it's going to have an effect on whatever they're doing. But like, I don't know, I'm honestly I'm sick of this whole story.
It's not going very far very quickly, and I think everybody is waiting for the mutants to come back. I mean, I really feel like that's where they're going, and I feel that Deadpool 3 is going to have this massive favor towards the mutant universe that is going to be so popular and so big, it'll put that explosion back underneath Marvel again to go, oh, we may need to head in this direction after all, and kind of do they abandon the Kang Dynasty story arc, or simplify it to complete it earlier than scheduled? Is the main question, because who knows?
When do we get the X-Men, the new X-Men cartoon, the 90?
It's supposed to be next year. 2024. I just don't know the exact release date.
It seems like they had pushed it.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be this year, but obviously animation takes a little while. Not to mention that they couldn't do a lot of shooting and stuff too. So.
This is online. I'm looking at it says January 3rd.
Oh, January 3rd. Okay, so maybe it's as early as that. I mean, we do have
technically next year.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good point. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was later into, but yeah.
There was some stuff that Bob Iger said about like the Marvels recently. He said like the reason it's not doing so well is because there's not enough people getting in the way of like a lot of
not enough executives. Not enough executives having a say in what's going on, and
we did not understand what just happened.
Yeah, but Joe Russo, who is the director of the
half of the director,
half of the director of
Civil War,
Infinity War,
Endgame,
all that. Endgame basically kind of said, that's not quite right. It's like the creative process is being interfered with too many executives, and that's anyway, there's this weird balance that they haven't found, or they've lost. I think budget was a big part of all of this stuff still over the last couple of years.
It's weird when we had a moment where there seemed to be too many department head or whatever, too many
Yeah.
CEOs or whatever giving their information or
many
telling you it needs to be
cooks.
away.
Yeah.
And then we got a moment where they just directors do what you want. We don't care.
Yeah.
And then, there was an issue or two, and now they're back to everything needs to be
Yeah.
everything needs to be agreed upon by the higher ups, and blah blah blah.
I mean,
Basically, get waves of that.
Should we
Yeah,
be
right.
getting just one, maybe two Marvel films a year, and then that's it? Just so that they can spend the time to up the quality and spend that budget into those? Is that going to be a better performance on the long run, to have the quality go back and do less?
If that causes them to make better movies, then yeah. But what they got to do, whatever it needs to take to just make good films,
Right.
instead of just like trying to crank something out just to make quick money.
Yeah.
I feel like how did the other movies do so well? Do what they did then, and I think like they're getting good response from Loki, so it's a good idea to get that guy to do a Kang Dynasty.
Right.
And I think they kind of felt that way about like Civil War when the Russo brothers did a banger. They're like, you know what? We should get them. They're pretty good at this. Let's get them to do Infinity War and Endgame, and those were bangers.
Yeah.
Like they just need to get like the right people to do certain stuff. And the Russo brothers were really good at that. They were able to handle an ensemble film.
They also knew when to say enough is enough and walk away from it too. And, give them some time. Maybe they'll step back into doing another film for Marvel, but they also want to continue, again, it's a weird thing. It's like, would I like to see more Russo brothers do, more Marvel? Yes. But if we had the same directors come back, they're going to get tired of it themselves. They're going to get old from it. They're going to start repeating the same things.
Because Joss Whedon had to after the first Avengers, he had to cool down and do like a Shakespeare movie with his friends. To like chill after that. I think a lot of these directors need that kind of like cool down to like any large film like that. It's gonna be a strain on you, and so that is even too much for the Russos to do so much of. But like, I don't know, if someone's taking it in the right direction, I think it's always a good idea for them to stick with that person and kind of carry that energy through to something. Since that worked, we'll get you to do this, and that will work. So I don't know. It's like the MCU has. Nothing has really been as successful as this with this many movies under its belt. So we're always like constantly putting it under a microscope. It's like they didn't make as much this time. What did they do wrong? Or like, what can they do that's better? But then, we didn't say that when they started, right? Like they weren't like complete bangers every time.
No.
They have set such a high standard for themselves that any type of slip up, we're like, they're done. The MCU's over. It's not as successful as Endgame, so they're done. It's just like turning toxic, just like any type of Star Wars fandom and stuff like that. It's just we're all very critical on every move they make.
Yeah. Totally. In a few weeks' time, we've got What If Season 2 coming.
That's exciting.
Starting on December 22nd. From what I understand, they're going to be unwrapping an episode each day for 9 consecutive days.
Oh.
From the 22nd onwards. So I'm sure we'll be doing some reactions to those, because I enjoyed Season 1 of What If. I thought it was fun.
Is it? Wait a minute. Starting on the 22nd?
The 22nd.
They're gonna have a show like on Christmas, like all.
Sounds like it.
One a day.
It sounds like it. One a day. Yeah, it's where they're going with it.
9 days.
I wonder if they're all. Yeah, they got to be like holiday themed episodes. Most of them.
Maybe not. Who knows?
We know at least one of them is.
Well, I mean, with all the the look and the advertising,
based on that,
look. I mean, they got red and green. They're kind of making it look like holiday colors.
Yeah. So. But based on the trailer, I at least know one of them is with Darcy and Happy. Doing some Die Hard.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, other stuff. Well, we've missed out on a lot of stuff. They've picked out a new Lex Luthor for James
Great
Gunn's
choice.
Superman Legacy. I don't think I've seen any of this guy's work before.
What?
Um,
What are you talking
Yeah, you
about?
have.
what have I?
You know for a
Yeah,
fact that you
Renfield,
have.
bro.
Renfield.
Renfield.
This is Renfield. Oh wow.
That's
Oh
Beast.
wow.
That's Renfield.
Okay.
That's
That is.
Lucasfilm.
Oh wow. I
He's
look
also
so
in
different.
Mad.
I
He's in
didn't
Mad
realize.
Max Fury Road. He
Yeah.
plays
really?
Beast in the
In
newer
the X-Men movies.
James
younger
McAvoy,
Beast.
Okay.
Michael
Oh.
Fassbender.
He was Beast. Oh shit. Then okay. All right. Oh
You've
yeah.
watched tons of his stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I
oh,
probably
yeah.
have. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay.
You like
He just-
Renfield?
Yeah, I did. I just had no idea.
always
Hey,
does
I'm
roles,
terrible
man.
when it comes to seeing actors out of like makeup and out of whatever. I have no clue who they are. I don't know. I could pass somebody a megastar on the street and I still wouldn't even know who it is, unless they were like
Dave Filoni or
that might be a little
Favreau
different.
or
That might
George
be a little different.
Lucas.
Whatever.
It-
George
well,
Lucas,
he
I
has
know George
Lucas.
Lucas, but yeah,
Oh,
You
that
know
was
Dave
some guy with
Filoni
a
from
beard.
his cowboy hat, dude. That's how you know
Right.
it's Dave Filoni.
totally, yeah. So that, but also the James Gunn announced that they've got a script writer for Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which is interesting too. So
Nice.
yeah, again, we'll
I'm ready
see.
for
I mean,
his fresh takes.
it's 2025 before we get to see Superman Legacy, so we're still a little way off on that.
Oh, that will come quick.
Yeah,
This
but what
year
we'll
went
do,
by
that'll
amazingly
come
quick.
quick.
Like it's
Yeah.
gonna be here before we know it. Especially
Yeah.
with anything else coming
Sure,
out new,
yeah.
and like,
yeah, but
before
what we'll
we know it,
do.
we're gonna be seeing a trailer and being like, "Oh,
Oh
wow."
yeah, no, totally. Yeah. Now, what we'll do in the coming week is we'll do our most anticipated movies for next year and TV shows for next year and stuff like that. Because
Yeah, and I feel like we just did that.
I know
like,
it's crazy. A year has gone on the blink of an eye. It's crazy. Jason, you've been watching Invincible.
oh shoot, I need to catch up still.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah, they did their mid-season episode about 2 weeks ago, which is like episode 4. So we will have to wait till next year to see where it continues. But it was good. It was
Yeah,
it was a
you know what?
solid,
I'm
mid-season.
watching Enzo, and I'm like, oh, maybe I could watch this. No,
No.
no,
Bit
he's
too
starting to
violent.
pay attention to what I watch now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's like, "What's
Yeah,
this?"
makes
Like
sense.
I
Yeah.
can't. I was trying to watch Simpsons with him, and it was like
Yeah.
itchy and scratchy,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, yeah, no. This is-
Yeah, no, that's
like
fair
that's
enough. Oh, responsible daddy there.
Oh, you can show him the German, the
The Russian version.
yeah,
The
whatever.
Russian version. That's funny.
yeah, but like itchy and scratchy is way too violent. Like it was an episode about them, and so I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna make him watch that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Keep it simple.
But I will when
yeah.
I get a chance. I don't know.
Yeah. Dune 2 has moved up 2 weeks in March, which is March the 1st now. It gets released.
Is Wonka out now, or is that?
Wonka is out next week, I think it is.
Oh,
Dune,
The third
Dune 2
week
was
and a half.
supposed to be out already.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
supposed to be.
yeah.
They pushed it because of they had no film schedule for next year of big films. So.
Did you see the new character posters they put up?
I saw them, but I
Okay.
couldn't pull them off the images. I didn't get the chance to pull them off. But again, there's been so much being dropped at LA Comic Con this weekend. So,
Oh, I got them right here. If you let me show.
you got
the
them?
screen.
oh sure, yeah. Hang on. How do you share? Oh god, how do you share the screen with somebody?
Hold on, I'm gonna share it right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Oh, okay.
So you just
Oh yeah,
gotta,
there it is. Oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, so these are the
Paul
new images.
Atreides, Chani,
Cool.
Lady Jessica, in her looking all ethnic. Gurney,
looking normal, looking
Stilgar, Elvis.
elf.
He's playing who Sting played.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh, Austin Butler.
And
And
Okay.
they're gonna
all
give him the cod piece.
the little underwears.
right. Oh god.
And Florence Pugh is the princess.
Okay. I don't remember enough of these characters outside of what we from the original Dune. So
Oh, she's
some of
in
these
it
are
too.
new to episode 2.
She's a late
season
Benny
Yeah.
Gesserit.
Skarsgård,
Skarsgård.
he's good.
And the Emperor.
Yeah, yeah.
Christopher
Christopher
Walken.
Walken. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting to
Is it?
see.
it's got lots of sand and
A lot of sand.
lots of sand here. That's why we call it the dunes.
I don't like these Atreides.
I need water. Someone find me some water.
That's cool. They're nice posters. There was one time where I was
need
like,
you
I would love to get those
Harkonnens
posters, but it's like, yeah.
to kill the Atreides.
Yeah.
I don't like them.
That's gonna be interesting to see. But I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we ended up by getting a trailer for The Boys season 4, which we showed these images a few weeks ago, last week.
Oh, I haven't watched that yet.
You haven't seen the
Just watch it.
I guess so. Yeah. Hang on a sec. I gotta.
You want me to share it?
Yeah, sure.
He's like, I can bring it up. Boom.
Yeah, you've already got it there, so yeah, you can bring it up quicker. That'll probably end up by. Actually, is there? You know what? I don't know if we can because of the blood and the gore and that sort of stuff. Sometimes YouTube's a bit fudgy on that sort of stuff.
Even if the trailer's on YouTube?
Yeah, because there's swearing in it and stuff like that too. So I think that's the R-rated. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't want to get.
All right, how about I just watch it and then we
you can watch it.
My
Yeah,
reaction right now.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Whatever. Okay.
Jason's
that's-
reaction.
Did you see
Jason's
the back
reaction.
of
Boys.
Homelander's head? Oh, Vought Tower.
Yeah.
Oh, Billy just sitting in a blockbuster. Who's that? Someone with long hair? Oh, it's the AOC lady. She's celebrating. Did she like make it? She's like president now.
Yeah. I mean, they set that up in Gen V. I think that she was going in to be president. We assume she's going to end up by being president. So.
Oh, Frenchie. Oh, the Asian girl who doesn't talk.
Yeah. Well, she started to. She's been learning English.
Oh, we got a January 6th going on here.
Anyway, so while Jason's watching that, yeah, I thought it looked cool. Is that the kid that pushes that guy up the spy stand?
Morgan?
Is that what's his name's son who throws that guy up against the building? Looks like it's his son. But anyway.
Whoa. Oh, he threw that guy against the building.
Yeah. That's the kid though, right? That's
Yeah.
Homelander's son, right? Anyway, yeah, we're losing audience members. They're
Nice.
kind of like losing.
Dean Morgan.
We went down to 0 followers online right now.
Sorry.
Well, we went down to 0 people online right now, so we must be boring.
They're all going. No, they're all going to watch the Boys 2 trailer.
There you go. But then they would probably stay online. Anyway, yeah.
When does that air?
Was there a release date on that? I can't remember. 2024 is all they had. I don't know if there was a release date at the end of the episode. Did you see the trailer for House of the Dragon?
Yeah. I just watched that one. That was cool.
Looks so good.
Looks so good.
Yeah. I enjoyed season 1 so much. I thought it was amazing.
Dude, I got Liz really heavily invested in Game of Thrones. Yeah.
That's cool.
She's never watched it before, so.
I rewatched it about 6 months, maybe 8 months ago, the whole series all the way through.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not too bad of a sit through. It was easy enough to sit through again. The other trailer that I had also that dropped this past week was Fallout, which looks looks surprisingly good. Like there was some really cool visuals going on there. I've never played the game, but Fallout is cool. It's a TV series. Comes out April 12th, which is kind of interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah,
it looks like in that better end kind of stuff.
The golden age of video game adaptations right now.
It seems to be, yeah. I mean,
like
with
the best.
The Last of Us is, was doing very well for season 1, and they're shooting season 2, I believe, at the beginning of next year. So we may not see The Last of Us till at least 2025, I'm guessing. But there's a few other ones out there, but those are the kind of the big ones that look really, at least interesting enough to see where they're going with it all.
The main actor in it, she's the voice for Jinx in Arcane.
Oh, okay.
He's like kind of typecasted as this video game person now.
Fair enough. Fair
Well, that's
enough.
just 2 roles that she
Which
had.
you saw the trailer for season 2, which was just like a mini teaser trailer, really, for Arcane.
Oh no, not yet.
Oh yeah, it was just a small little mini kind of like a introduction thing. It was nothing big, but yeah. And then yeah, but there's some interesting shows coming out. So let's talk a little bit about Dave Filoni for a minute, guys. Dave Filoni is now the Lucasfilm Chief Creative Officer. I don't exactly know what that means exactly. It's just a title that actually
Sounds like a vanity title.
It's vanity title. Yeah, it could be. It could be. It could be. There's a lot of words in there that's, the fact that they use an officer is like Chief Creative Officer. It's like, okay, all right, okay, interesting.
Correct. Officer Texas Ranger.
I was always one to kind of believe that Dave Filoni is better off just kind of, being given some material and product and be able to go with it and be left alone to do what he's doing, kind of thing. But it seems that with so many different fluctualities going on throughout all the shows, and I think you pointed out, Jason, that your love for Ahsoka was not exactly up there, but there's a lot of people that have had the same things with Ahsoka, that it is kind of a little misplaced in areas, in the way it was presented and flowed as a story. So it feels like
What story? Just kidding.
But it feels like that Dave Filoni might be better off where he's about to be, which is like controlling at least key points and key crossover points and letting other creatives do stuff within the Star Wars universe that are bound within a Lucas's vision kind of, format, I'm guessing. It's hard to say. I mean,
Is the holder of the holocron, or is that still Doug Chang?
What's that? Oh, Doug Chang's still the head designer of everything. Yeah, but the actual, just the idea of him being in charge actually I'm feeling more comfortable with him being in charge of all that for some reason. Again, it's like it's hard to tell. It's only because it just seems that with the live action stuff that there's this vision that doesn't necessarily get brought to the table. Season 3 of Mandalorian was not a strong season, kind of thing. If that's
it's just like I don't think they want. I think the studio heads are getting too involved with it, because like they, like the first season probably they left it in there. I don't know. I don't know how involved they were with it, but whatever they did then was great.
Right.
I don't know what happened. Like why did season 3 not do as well, or what was the issues with season 3? Did it not know what it wanted to be? I feel like they kind of lost direction and lost focus on what it could have been, and it's trying to be too many things.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's always been the problem with anything. It's like we're seeing the same problem with obviously in Marvel too. So it's like it is becoming a bit of a mess of things. I mean, do we do we want Dave Filoni to go back and kind of like take these two characters and do something with Ahsoka and Anakin? They've got the ability of doing Clone Wars live action, shows. Do we do stuff that we've seen more or less before in animated stuff, or do we go a completely different direction and go way into the future or way into the past and just break away from the Empire altogether?
Well, it's like there are benefits of like tapping into like old stuff, but that could be fleeting. That could only go so far. Like we'll get excited for the episode and be like, oh my god, I remember that. But then like Star Wars is more than just that, and it needs to be more than that, because like as far as I can see, that's mostly what it is right now.
Yeah.
So I think fresh stuff, like that's why I'm excited about the Acolyte, and Skeleton Crew even sounds kind of interesting too. But like, I don't know. I feel like that the dependence on that, I mean, I've always said this, dependence on that nostalgia farming isn't going to cut it. That's it needs to be more than just that. And I
Right.
feel like that's what Ahsoka was mainly relying on.
Mhm.
And any type of reliance on that is just not gonna carry your show.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
there are cool moments, but like, as far as like quality storytelling, it's only gonna do so much.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
here's the thing. What Dave Filoni did some incredible work within the Clone Wars and Rebels in the sense of character development and all this. So obviously a lot of the characters were developed in those shows to a certain degree, but then they pick up on Ahsoka, several years later after Rebels, after the fall of the Empire, etc., etc. And I'm seeing this a lot, not just in Star Wars, but in Marvel too. They're taking these characters and they're setting them up in a totally different scenario that we never saw them in last time. Ahsoka herself is miserable and down and depressed. We don't know why, obviously, at the beginning of the story. Sabine is a training, had trained as a Jedi and she had a fallout with Ahsoka. So we're getting all these characters that are completely put in a different scenario or different situation several years later when we pick up on their stories. Marvel have done the same thing with some stuff where they've actually, they'll pick up on something and it feels weird to pick up on a different place
like
later
what?
on. I had it. Okay, I had it in my head, and I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, "It's gone now." But there was something in Marvel where it did actually pick up. Maybe it was DC. I can't remember.
I need
It's all gone.
some examples.
No, sorry, I had it
that are
there,
similar
and
to like
yeah,
Ahsoka.
yeah. But there are other stuff, and there
They're
are
pretty,
other shows that have picked
but
up on stories or events sometime later that the characters don't seem like they were when we last saw them. They're very different people several years later. And is that the kind of storytelling that we want to? Well, I mean, even the even the sequels, of with Luke Skywalker, he's a very different person from all these years later than what we saw at the end of Return of the Jedi, and not what we expected for a character to be in.
no,
So, do
I
you
don't think
think that?
it's the status of the characters when we're introduced to them. Like
Yeah,
you can do that as long as it's explained
right.
and like their motivations are clear.
Yeah.
That wasn't apparent in Ahsoka.
Okay.
Like
Right.
we don't know why Sabine did what she did, and like the motivations on why she did what she did
Yeah.
weren't
Well,
justified.
yeah, we're just for yeah.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
we don't understand what Ahsoka's deal is either, and we kind of never did. Right? We never got any of the answers.
Right.
Really, they mystery boxed the whole season.
Yeah, maybe there's a bit too much of that going on with George Lucas always kind of set up Star Wars stuff to be, Boba Fett. He originally set up Boba Fett to be a bit of a mystery character, not realizing he was creating such an iconic mystery
Yeah,
character.
but he's not the main character.
He's not the main character, but here's the thing: people talked about that character for years. After he popped up in The Empire Strikes Back, part of the mystery came from the animation piece they did in the 1979 holiday special. They set up this mystery character that people speculated on, and the moment you try to fill in a mystery character or do too much with them, it does become you makes them more real. So George
Take
Lucas
the
went,
magic away.
yeah, but then so what
like
George Lucas went to do is, with the animated Clone Wars and stuff, was he would actually then would take back from that. He would start setting up stuff that would give you enough to kind of let you speculate on what this background was or whatever it may be, and leave it open enough that you could speculate, but not close it and make it significant and say this is a definite kind of background, so that half your audience would be displaced whether they liked that character because of that reason or whatever, or if that makes any sense, kind of thing.
Well, that was like already after we've introduced him as a kid,
Right.
when
Yeah.
he did the Clone Wars stuff. So that was already like reintroducing Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And I remember when that came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, that's who Boba Fett is." I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah.
he's the whiny
Right.
kid,
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
just always going to be the case when you're tapping into
Right.
stuff like that. But like,
Yeah.
what was So what was the point you were making with Boba Fett? Or just like
Well,
he was able to use him in stories and still be
he was able to
compelling.
use him in stories and stuff like that. But what the moment that George Lucas would define something, and he very rarely would define something, he would leave a certain amount of mysticism about a character's past or about where they were heading, so that other storytellers could actually fill in stories, or it was left up to speculation. That's what Star Wars really has
Well,
been up
yeah,
to that
but
point.
it's
But
not the mystery
right,
that is the issue. It's the character motivation and
right,
like them
yeah,
actually
yeah,
having purpose and like
yeah.
actually stating what the issue is, you know?
But
Like
where I'm
a
going
lot
with
of
that
like
is, was Ahsoka too much speculation, and is Star Wars getting to a point where they're trying to do so little of explanation or locking down certain things that we're going to end up with characters who will pop in and be breezy as they come into a story arc without anything that can anchor them as being an interesting character or not.
well, no, I think
Yeah,
they just lacked substance in the
substance.
script
Okay,
itself
right.
because these are all great actors,
Yeah,
you know, but like there wasn't enough to work with.
right. Yeah, yeah,
Like Hera, she didn't really do much,
right. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
And they didn't really get to, I don't know, I didn't get the charm I got from Rebels from any of these characters.
Right, correct. Yeah. Again, they're different people. That's what I was going with that as well. Do we feel like that? Do we need to see some of that charm of those characters the moment they're reintroduced into a show? Because you need your audience who don't follow the characters in the animation to feel like they're connected to these characters almost immediately. And the charm of introducing a character was not always there in some of those characters. The charm of
Well, I
introducing
mean,
Sabine Wren was not there. She was not an interesting, fun character or purposeful. She was just a mystery kind of, moody. I don't know.
it's just like everything
Yeah.
she did was just like what didn't help anything.
Right. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it was just a poorly written show.
Right. Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's
So
pretty much like what
right.
the issue with Ahsoka was, you know? And
So
like you have like and I have yet to see the glory that is Admiral Thrawn, you know?
right.
Like they say that he's a great tacticianer.
Mhm.
Everything he did failed except for getting away, but everything up to then was just like they were just besting him and all of that stuff. He's like, "Oh, everything's going to plan."
Yeah.
And he ends up getting away, but like I don't know. I feel like Grand Moff Tarkin has done a lot more than him,
Yeah. Maybe.
and he was just a Grand Moff, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just there was a lot wrong with
Yeah.
it, you know. Good
Right.
moments,
But so
you
where
know,
I'm
but
going with my question of where it's leading to is it was more a matter of leading to Dave Filoni being in charge. Do we feel like we're going to end up by getting a bit more control over what comes in the future through his vision, or do we feel like we're going to get the same sort of stuff? What's your theories, Elijah? Any
I
thoughts
mean,
on?
I don't know. I mean, so I think about the same. Some's
Right.
going to be good. Some's not going to be good. It's just
Right.
yeah,
going to be the luck of the draw, pretty much.
if he had, you know, full like control on Ahsoka, like
Mhm.
that's probably what I'm gonna expect is just
Right.
more
Sure.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, I don't even know what his job is at this point. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a role. They understand that you know a lot of Star
Mhm.
Wars fans admire Filoni,
Well,
so
it feels
it's
like
just like
he's. Yeah, sorry.
putting him in a place.
Yeah.
Now you know, like they're trying to like milk some good news from the Star Wars franchise because they're not
Right.
doing so well right now.
Yeah. It
And
feels
like
like
by putting him in a place of control
yeah.
might
Over other
help the fan.
creatives. Over
Well,
other
that,
creatives.
no,
Yeah.
despite of their creatives, we don't even know.
Right.
We probably won't even be able to name other creatives outside of Filoni. You know,
Mhm.
he's like the main poster boy for
Right.
the new generation of Star Wars post Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So like by doing this is just kind of hoping to please the fans. I feel like.
Okay.
You know, like people who are fans of Filoni is like, oh,
Right.
yeah, cool. He's commander or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
What's the title?
Now, he's not going to have much footprint as far as I'm aware in the Acolyte and season 2 of Andor, because they're off in England shooting their own separate stuff. He's got an idea, but he's. It seemed like with Andor season 1, he was separated enough from Andor for letting them do, and Andor became the adult, grown-up version of Star Wars that a lot of adult, grown-up people have wanted from Star Wars. So it'll be interesting to see where they go after that, with other stuff, or whether he's just going to stay locally within, America with all the stuff that's going on here. Do we actually end? I mean, I am going to assume he's going to have a footprint into Daisy Ridley's new Star Wars film, which is
as long as they write good stories,
right?
Like that's the thing about Andor. It was like well written, and they had like a lot of time to write their story too.
Yeah.
And so, like, if we just see that type of attention to a script put on another show outside of Andor, that'd be great. You know, but I just haven't seen that. Everything seems to be Mod Podge and just trying to hit certain points of like action sequences. And that's how you get like a Transformers movie. They're fun to watch, but they lack the substance. And you just want to see something well written in Star Wars. That's why I admire Andor so much. It's just you could see the care in that script. Yeah. And I just wish that Boba Fett, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka kind of had that same love and care.
Yeah. Well, it'll be, I guess we'll find out what this new position means as, season 4 of Mandalorian will be the first kind of, the first show that will be under his footprint of this new job position. So we'll see if that changes, because it feels like they need to change something from season 3. So.
Yeah, well, we kind of lost like the storyline
that was funny, and I mean, and let it be naturally funny. You're right. There was some stuff that were if you look at Star Wars: A New Hope, there's nothing that's like laugh out loud kind of crazy about it. It's really just moments or little events, or characters doing a smirk or something that makes it kind of charming. Maybe that's the word. Maybe there is charm to characters in A New Hope. There isn't laugh out loud, really big moments, really. The audience.
Yeah.
What? In the original trilogy, and even in the prequels, there's nothing.
I'm just talking in the special edition. It's like they added in more goofy.
Oh right, they learned. But
like slight humor, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, not by well. You're right. Actually, you're right. It was little things like the little gag with the speeder bike on Tatooine and doing swerving, and you got the Jawa swinging off of the Ronto and all that sort of stuff.
It just feels out of place,
You're right. Yeah,
to us, because we grew up with the original, so we watched that and you're like, what?
Right. So
what? Why? Why are they doing that?
Because they definitely. I mean, Han Solo is charming and as a character, but he's not laugh out loud. And yet you have someone like Poe Dameron who comes in and does these comments at the beginning of of the sequel of the third film, The Rise of Skywalker, and people were up in arms about it. I thought there were some funny moments in there. And it's not that these characters can't be funny, but it feels like it's forced funny in this world.
I feel like that was a result of like the Marvel kind of humor.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like that was because like that works, and that's like kind of like what Marvel has kind of established.
So that then becomes the question, the audience has changed in their taste of what they watch or want to watch.
I don't think it's just
Marvel's
Marvel,
or is it we're trying to give what they think is the right thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like Star Wars. It's not Marvel. Like
I feel fans can tell when it's forced.
Right.
Sure. And that this kind of bothers you. Like you're like,
sure, yeah. And
I laughed at that, but like that doesn't.
Oh yeah, I laughed at it too, but it seemed a bit weird at the same time within.
But then again, like A New Hope had funny moments. Han Solo running down the corridor and has to turn around. That there's a bunch of like that, and then like talking on the speakers, like sorry,
we're all fine here now.
Sure, yeah. You're right. Okay, so you can get away with smart ass comments.
Right.
from a
Well, it's
character
not. It's
and be
it's
funny.
more than just that.
Yeah.
It's nuanced. That's the
Yeah.
charm
Yeah.
that we're talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Like we don't think about that and be like, that seemed out of place. I don't think
Yeah.
that should be.
Right.
They're running for their lives. Why are they joking around?
Yeah.
Why is it supposed to
Right.
be funny?
Yeah.
I don't think people aren't complaining about that.
Right.
But
Right.
like I said about Marvel earlier, like it's just become such a massive property that
Yeah.
anything they do, fans are going to be nitpicking and like kind of dissecting and like
Yeah.
trying to figure out what's going on,
Yeah.
like what we're doing right now.
Right.
But like as far as like the funny, there should be humor, that just comes with great storytelling. If you could add that little nuance of humor and make it charming, that's what we want, and that's what does well. And I think every Star Wars so far has tried to do that. There's humor in most things we watch these days too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the humor without the charm behind it isn't always going to make it work as a moment too within Star Wars, because it feels like a little
it's
bit
hit
of
or
a charm.
miss a lot of the time. Like sometimes it's over the top, like Poe Dameron talking about he's Hux's mom.
Yes,
when he's talking over on the comms, or
right.
They fly now. They fly now.
Yeah.
That stuff feels kind of forced. But when he's talking to Kylo Ren, he's like, I don't know, what do I look at you? I thought that was pretty funny.
Right.
It's like within the first 5 minutes.
Oh yes, yeah. Do I?
But I enjoyed that. I was like, all right, I see what they're doing here. He's that guy. It establishes his character.
Right.
He was supposed to be like the kind of Harrison Ford kind of character, but still like hardcore rebel. Not just like the outside dude.
Yeah.
It's like if Harrison Ford, if Han Solo joined the rebellion, that's what we got. That's what Poe Dameron was supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's a formula there somewhere, and a lot of the modern Star Wars tends to miss that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe just the original trilogy was just lightning in a bottle. You can't redo that. It was
right.
the planets aligned. We're not going to get that anymore. But the best we can do is we can work with this. They could work with this IP, and there's so much to do with it.
Oh, totally. It
sucks that like a lot of it has failed. It's like it's ready for you right there.
It's not necessarily failed. It's been appreciated by so radically different audiences. I think is where it's going, because there are people that that really have liked something over another, and they're very passionate about what they do and don't like. And there's nothing right or wrong with that either. It's just a matter of there feels like there needs to be an overall balance just a little bit more, but we may not even get that, even through Dave Filoni. We may not see that balance. Obviously you can't please everyone all the time, but you want to please at least, a larger percentage of your audience. And it's almost like we're dealing with a DC universe kind of not directly black and white, but there is this definite kind of thing where polarization between what people have been watching and liking and not liking.
Star Wars needs to be able to appeal to people who have no idea what Star Wars is. That's what it did in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? Like it took this genre and got like most people who would usually stay away from this genre to like watch it.
Yeah.
And so like the average Joe would know what Star Wars was, when like before that, it was a pretty niche like genre that a lot of people was like, I'm not gonna watch lasers and stuff like that. But like it needs to be able to like, well, what Star Wars has brought us is just the mass appeal, and like they need to be able to, you need to be able to show them a good show and like win them over without having to rely on that past stuff of it being Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think a lot of the creatives have been going into each of their shows taking a element. We know that the guys who did Andor went in with the idea of Saving Private Ryan-esque style kind of show, doing Rogue One and all that. So they went in with a World War, to kind of vibe the way they did it. We know that George Lucas took the Vietnam War with Star Wars: A New Hope and put that as its underlay. So I think these creatives are still doing that stuff with
Yeah, and
their
I think
stuff.
that's what Andor
Yeah.
nails with like the narrative
Right.
being
Yeah.
like relatable
Yeah.
to actual
Yeah.
things that are going on, and
Yeah.
that is like the heart of Star Wars. But
Yeah.
like a lot of these shows kind of miss, a lot of other shows kind of miss that
Haven't missed
point.
it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Mandalorian at its key focal point at the beginning was the Western, so that but it was no specific genre of something we could relate to the Western, but we can't relate to a political scenario of that time necessarily going on within. Well, I guess we can with Mandalorian.
no, there's a lot of relatable
yeah,
stuff there,
right,
and
yeah,
I think they just kind of lost track of what the show, what we loved about the show by the
right,
third season came
yeah,
around.
yeah,
Because like
yeah,
they pretty much just dropped the whole storyline of like Grogu joining the Jedi and just have that happen somewhere else.
yeah,
And then like you're introduced to season
yeah,
3 and he's already with
yeah.
Grogu
Back,
again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that was a huge hiccup that kind of just like
Well,
tried to fill the void.
again,
Like,
that's Disney pulling their money wallet. They don't want to have their lead, puppet, not selling merchandise and toys and
yeah, but then they sacrificed
yeah,
a whole
yeah.
lot of like compelling story
Oh,
points
completely, yeah.
by
So
doing that. And
absolutely, no, you're right. Would Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have kept that path apart longer if they were not, under the thumb by Disney? And anyway,
it just sucks. Like every time there's like a triumph, like the Luke Skywalker moment, and we've talked about this a lot too.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
oh, when's the Luke Skywalker moment for this show?
Sure.
And so
Yeah.
we're all
Right.
expecting that.
Waiting for the
And
one
then
more
that's
moment.
not that shouldn't be the that shouldn't be the case,
Right.
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 And but I
Yeah.
feel like every show after Mandalorian season 2 has kind of like relied on that moment,
Right.
like we're just waiting for that
Yeah.
kind of moment to
Right,
happen,
right.
and where like Ahsoka had like Anakin show up,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
Vader showed up in Obi-Wan, and that's supposed to be like that Luke Skywalker moment that everyone went nuts
Right.
for,
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that was what I meant by like they're
Yeah.
kind of just relying on these certain beats,
Yeah.
and then just kind of filling in the gaps in
Yeah,
between, just so they could lead to these moments where fans would just be like, "Oh, what?
Yeah.
Crazy!"
Yeah.
But that's about it, That's
Right.
just surface thing.
Yeah.
But like I don't know,
But they're losing the substance and depth of stuff that they could be doing. Yeah, I
that's why
understand. Yeah.
that's why I'm excited about Acolyte, where they're just so far removed from anything
Right.
like that as
I
much
agree.
as possible.
Yeah.
That like it gives them a chance to kind of do something original without having to rely on like a new character. But then Yoda could show up.
Right.
Well, Yoda is probably going to show up. It makes sense.
I know,
but
but is that what we're? But that shouldn't be what we're waiting for.
Right,
We should be waiting for like a good story being told outside of any of that, and not have to. It's like, where's Yoda?
Yeah,
I'm waiting for him.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, we're going to
Like,
get that from the past, but we're going to get that from the
include
future. But we're going to get that from the future too. If you pick up
if the
500 years in the
story-
future, Grogu is going to turn up somewhere 500 years later.
If it serves
they
the
take us-
story,
Yeah,
yes, but
yeah.
that shouldn't be what we're leading up to.
Right. No, but I'm saying it's there. But
It is
also,
there, but like you should tread carefully and not having to be like, look, it's Yoda.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the show,
Yeah.
that because that's all they've been doing lately. It's like,
Yeah.
look, it's Anakin.
Yeah.
Clap now, please clap.
Right. Anyway, guys, we've been going along enough at this point. So, at this point, news has been relatively quietish. We've had a few trailers and stuff like that. I guess in the coming weeks,
Quietish. There's a lot of
well,
trailers.
there was a lot of trailers and stuff, but like in the sense of like in anything, specific episodes of anything, we haven't had much playing on television recently. But I guess in the coming weeks we'll do a kind of breakdown of what our favorite films and TV shows were of 2023, and we'll do some anticipation of what we're looking forward to in the future. So we'll definitely be talking about that in the coming weeks. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining us, and like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we shall catch you all later.
Pick another
Catch
target.
it.
Military target.